Friday, and thanks for tuning into RadioFreeRhinecliff.org and this show in particular. Correct me if I'm Norm. I'm your host, Norm, and I'm thrilled to be here today with Todd Germann.
Yep.
Todd, thanks for coming in. We've been trying to make this happen for years and years.
It's been a bit, yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing? You're a little under the weather or sick or worse?
Yeah, I've been sick since, I'm going to say, early December.
Oh, good. I was expecting like 1977.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time. Just coughing. The cough just never goes away. I went to urgent care on Friday. They said it was flu B.
Oh.
The guy called back and said I was the first one that got diagnosed with flu B this season. So.
Wait, you're not contagious, are you?
No. He said I was past that.
Right.
First one, though, he said, so.
Huh.
Big win.
Wow. And it's just sort of lingering on?
Yeah. They gave me nothing for it except for some cough pills and an inhaler.
Cough pills. I had a cold a couple months ago. And like my chest hurt from the cough.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a cracked rib or a sore rib or something.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's just driving me fucking bonkers.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. And is it keeping you from living your best life, your daily?
I mean, I'm having a hard time sleeping at night, but I make up for it. Naps are increasing, which is fine by me.
Naps are the best.
I'm like a cat. I just nap.
Yeah.
I can't sleep for shit, but I can nap like a son of a bitch.
And how many naps do you take a day?
Oh, like 3.
And for how long?
2 hours. I don't sleep.
Oh, that's a long nap.
Yeah. I'm like 10 to 12 is a nap, and then another one from like 3 to 5, and then like 7 to 8, and then night starts. And
then night starts. And when's your most productive time?
Probably like, I'm going to say like when the late shows start, like a daily show comes on, I'll start working. So like 11 to 3 a.m.
And the work, is it art and architecture and design?
No, architecture is pretty much, that's rear view window now.
Okay.
It's all painting now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you're working through the night.
More or less, yeah.
Napping through the day.
Yeah. Full nocturnal now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, you could sort of shift that around, I guess, if you wanted to.
Yeah, but then there's people.
And then there's people.
Yeah, you gotta see. The phone is on. Now you can just have the phone off.
But there must be people who understand your hours. And
yeah.
So call you at 3 a.m. or text.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what are you doing?
There is some of that. But it's the same likeness of people, They know not to. They stay clear during the day and just get some memes at night, some stupid shit or
some memes. They forward Instagram reels.
Yeah, exactly.
Throughout the night.
Right. They know what I like. So.
Right. Now, somebody I asked about you said, well, basically he goes on Facebook and alienates friends.
Yeah.
I think that's
100%. I'm trying to thin the herd.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's going well.
Do people unfriend you much?
Oh, yeah.
And it's over. I went to your Facebook. We're Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of political stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of liberal political stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
well, it's not as much liberal as it's very anti-Trump and Elon. I just want anyone that follows them to just never speak to me.
And what do you see the difference as between being the liberal and anti-Elon and Trump?
Well, it's just common sense. Like I really just don't fucking understand how you can follow those guys. I'd be like, no, they're on our side.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. Like, how are you so fucking stupid?
And do you
think they're working for you in any capacity whatsoever?
Yeah.
They're just gutting the government to give. Ultimately, there's going to be that $4 trillion tax cut to the rich in the next line, the next budget. And people are going to be like, well, I thought my eggs were going to be cheaper. Like, no, you fucking idiot. They're not. This is all going to the 1%. All this gutting is all it's just getting stashed away for the 1% tax cut.
Now, so the friends who are like unfriending you are MAGA fans.
I don't even know
Trump
if they are. I
fans.
think they're probably just tired of me ranting about it. But I don't care. I don't care. Then fine.
And do they give you a heads up like, hey, dude, I just want to let you know I'm unfriending you now.
No, they're just gone. They're gone. They're ghosts now.
And then
with me.
And so how do you notice that?
Well, I'll see, they'll be like, dude, that last post is a little much, And I'm like, yeah, that was the point. It's the entire fucking point of the post. Do you not understand?
And do you get posts taken down?
Yeah. There. What was the one that got? Oh, I said something about Elon, and it said it was an act of violence, and that was taken down. Something about
that Elon was
string them up or something like that.
I see. So you're encouraging.
That was said. It was because it was encouraging an act of violence.
Right. And so that's Facebook or Instagram?
That was Facebook. Instagram has never taken anything down, and those are actually some of the worst ones.
And Facebook tells you, like, hey, I'm sorry, that's
it like comes up as a little notification, and it just says, it was like 3 days, though. It wasn't even like the next hour. Stayed up for like 3 days, so someone must have reported it.
Right. But, I mean, imagine they have AI, like, trolling this, like, the whole fucking time.
Yeah, that's why I was so surprised it took so long.
That stuff right away.
Right.
We probably have a backlog.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a folder of mine somewhere.
I love that.
I know.
And
Isn't it great?
You think the Secret Service, FBI has a folder on you too?
They might, honestly.
You can do the Freedom of Information Act.
Oh, that'll be gone soon too.
Find out. Yeah, do it now.
Yeah, do it now. Elon's gonna bust that shit up.
Oh,
that'll be gone. If it's not gone already.
Yeah. Well,
did you see today? Trump he handpicked who's allowed in the White House press corps now.
Of course, he did.
Yeah. He took. So now it's up to him who's
and it's going
to be like 5 fucking knuckleheads from Fox
News. And he's going to handpick what questions. Right? Yeah.
Now sooner or later, it's going to be like, oh, how's your golf game today?
Right.
So he can just talk about that and like.
I heard you won the club championship again.
Yeah. What a shock, huh?
Yeah. Oh God.
It's just a nightmare.
Are you hopeful that the country will ever be able to like come out of this?
Yeah, because I do think his supporters are just like. I'm not gonna say like fed up, but they're starting to, read the writing on the wall a little bit. Like,
have you seen any research on that, or this is just anecdotal?
Well, I think what's gonna happen is that the midterms are obviously hugely important, and they're tired of like their representatives not doing shit about anything. So these guys will get replaced. I think even some Republicans will vote Democrat at the midterms. Right. So as long as he loses. The problem is he has control over everything, right? So even if he loses the House, that's huge. You lose one little arm of the government, then they can't control everything at least. So,
oof.
And you only need like I think like flip like 5 seats or something. It's not even like a huge ask. 3 seats. There we go.
Right. Yeah. So do you ever look at this and think like, what the fuck, Democrats? Why aren't you doing something? And then think, well, do they want this to be happening?
No. Well, there are a few that, it's usually the women that are this, like AOC and Jasmine Crockett. Those are my 2 favorite.
Right. I loved Katie Porter.
Oh, Katie Porter. I don't know how she lost.
I don't know.
That was terrible. She was great, yeah. And that governor from Maine, she's great. She said, because Trump said they were going to withhold federal funding from Maine. She was like, all right, well, you do that, I'm taking all the federal taxes out of everyone's paycheck coming out of Maine. We're not bringing taxes to the government then. And I was like, all right, well, that's actually a fucking move. Like, that's not just talking. Like, that's an actual thing.
Right.
So that's great.
Yeah, I
hope that happens.
I wonder to what degree that's even possible.
Yeah. The states do have a lot of power, especially governors. So
yeah,
hopefully she can do something. That would be awesome. Like, that's a legit power move.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, here you go.
The thing I like about that, I mean, think about the National Guard.
Yeah.
And I think almost always like, oh, it's like the White Boys Club. It's the Proud Boys Club.
Yeah.
The National Guard. But when it comes down to somebody, say it's the Maine National Guard, and all of a sudden they're getting all this shit cut in the federal level.
Yeah.
They're not going to like that. They're going to side with the governor.
Of course. Exactly.
Which would be amazing to see.
That would be awesome.
I'd love to see something like that. I'd love to see people emboldened. Mm-hmm. I think all the time, well, what can I do? It's like, I'll make some political art. That's fun. But, I stand out in a corner with a sign. That's not what I'd call my Congress people.
Yeah. I hate those things. What are you going to do?
Probably the most effective thing.
It probably is, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Because why won't you do it?
I don't know. I feel like it's just, what do you do? Leave a message and there's like click.
People pick up.
Really?
By and large, people pick up.
Oh.
And you say, hey. And then I always ask them, do these calls make a difference? They're like, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I honestly feel like me ranting on Facebook is somehow effective because it is pissing people off.
Right.
I do think it works. And people, even if it convinces, like, I don't know, 5 people.
Right.
It might fucking sway a couple voters and be like, oh, look at this article this fucking jackass posted, but I'm going to read it.
Right.
Like, yeah, he called for perhaps murdering someone, blah, 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 whatever. But read the article that's attached to it, and it's like, yeah, this dude's it's all a grift. Like, he's just in it for stealing money.
All a fucking grift.
It's crazy.
There's always a grift.
Yeah, from the start.
And why don't people care about this obvious grift?
I don't get it. Because they're just like, they just don't. I mean, well, obviously, a huge part is just like flat out racism. They just didn't like Obama because he was black.
Right.
That's a huge part.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, whatever Obama did, let's undo everything somehow. Whoever Obama picked or was around when Obama was, get everyone out of there. And now it's just like they want everything to be about the whitest possible. No more DEI hires, no more women. We just want white men in charge of everything.
Right.
And just to get that back to like old school whiteness government.
As whitey white men.
Yeah, whitey white men, yeah. As quick as possible.
Oh. So. It's grotesque.
It's pretty sad.
So you're an artist, and I've seen your art, and it's lovely. I've grown to really, really respect your art, your painting, and the drawing, which seems to be an element of most of your paintings. Mm-hmm. Do you make any overtly political art?
No.
How come?
No, I don't know. I mean, I might actually start, though, because I'm in a ridiculous painting rut at the moment, so maybe that'll spur me out of it.
And what is that like, a painting rut?
I don't know. I just haven't done anything in months and months. It happens most in the winter, obviously, because this winter's just awful around here. It's just so fucking depressing. But
it was a great time to stay inside.
I know, but it's also a great time to go drink, which is ahead of everything my favorite hobby of all time.
Is it?
Yeah, by far.
And as is the tradition here at the show, you brought in a drink for us to enjoy.
Yeah, I brought in some Threes Brewing. Twisted Thoughts. It racks in at a pretty heavy 8%, so it'll get the job done a lot quicker than most. It really settles the brain down.
And do you buy beer? Do you look at the percentage often?
Yeah.
And so you said drinking's your favorite hobby. Why not vodka, which has a much higher percentage of alcohol?
Because this is an elongated. It's a long game. You can do both.
Right.
And I can do both for a very long time, and I don't want to do vodka for a very long time. I don't want to be sprinting a marathon, I want to be like, nice little pace.
Right. And then you catch up to your friends in the pack.
Yeah.
You're falling behind.
Right,
with some
exactly.
vodka.
I can close down Rhine Cellar with Jenny and Jameson shots at the end.
Jameson shots.
Yeah.
And then do you walk home from there?
Well, me and my girlfriend just got an apartment above the art store.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Signed up, or at least signed February 1st. So.
Oh, that's good.
So now I don't have to worry about driving. That was like my only governor to like.
I was going to say,
contain myself. And now there's just nothing.
Is that a bad thing?
Now I'm just like an out of control, like deer in a field. I have nothing to control me now.
What does the girlfriend think about that?
She's great.
She doesn't mind.
She doesn't mind.
She's right there with you?
Yeah. Well, she's here part-time for now. She'll be full-time in probably like a month, maybe less. Yeah. So.
And where did you all meet?
She actually grew up next to me. She was my neighbor growing up.
Wow.
Yeah. And then she graduated high school 2-3 years before me. And I just found her on Instagram. And we started talking in Facebook or whatever. And then, you know how suave I am.
Yeah.
I worked it.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. So that's amazing. What does she do?
She's like in charge of a bunch of people who are then in charge of kids and adults with special needs. Okay. So she like sets them all up with like clients and everything, and she makes sure everyone's getting taken care of.
And so is it like a freelance work from home kind of thing?
Yeah, she works from home.
But she probably works with some of the schools.
Yeah, well, she has a kid that has autism, so she's well totally involved in the community. So she lives in Staten Island, so most of her cases are there.
Okay.
But she's moving back up here, so.
With the kid?
Yeah. Well, weekends, because he's in a great school down there, and they don't have that kind of learning up here yet. She can't find any place. Even Anderson doesn't have it, because he has one-to-one learning. So in his classroom, there's, I think she said, 6 kids and 7 teachers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which almost always really works.
Yeah.
That seems to really work.
Even at Anderson, I think it's like 6 kids and 3 teachers. So it's
really
and like
nice.
He was once in something like that, and he didn't work out well. He needs like the one-to-one.
Right. Huh.
And she can't find anything like that up here.
Right. Fucking amazing. So she's moving up. Y'all going to live together above the art supply store and across the street from the bar. It sounds like your perfect life.
It's pretty goddamn ideal, man.
And does she enjoy a good tipple now and then? As you
tipple?
Yeah.
What are we describing a tipple as?
Tipple. Well, a marathon of beer separated with sprints of vodka in between. I think
she's
that's
not
how
a
we
beer
divide
drinker,
it.
but she's a good drinker. She's quality.
I love that. So that's a part of the relationship.
Yeah. She knew it coming in, so.
She knew it coming in.
Yeah, it's not like I shocked her with anything.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, she's also grew up in Rhinebeck, so, I mean, it's like our number one sport.
It is a big sport here.
It is. Everyone's so good at it.
Rhinebeck. Yeah, most
You're like
people
immediately on the varsity team, like right out of like, I'm 13 years old.
I'm pretty good at it, but I don't have any, I can't do the longer distance stuff. Like it's 9 p.m. I'm going, look, it's bedtime.
Yeah. Well, you'll get there. You're still young.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And so, so you guys are, say, in the days that you are living together.
Yeah.
Is she up throughout the night as well, or are you up by yourself?
No, I've, being in this rut is kind of nice because I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm a little more normal, a little more less feral at the moment. I'm kind of
less feral. That's not something that anybody described you as. The people
she
I spoke
catches
with.
me like at stores, so I like have my hands down my pants, like scratching my balls, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
What's better than that?
I'm like at the store, she's like, "What are you doing? Like you're in public, you idiot." I'm like, "I haven't been like domesticated in so long. Like you can't do that."
Less feral than you once were.
Yeah.
And hats off to you, making
like,
progress.
God, Jesus, like look at yourself.
And how long have you all been dating?
Just after Thanksgiving, I think, or maybe a little before that.
Wow.
So not long, but I've known her forever. So.
And had she been looking to move up here before?
No, she was in like a just kind of a weird marriage relationship situation, and they were like kind of pseudo separated and just like miserable. So
it's kind of a whirlwind relationship.
Yeah, everything is kind of whirlwindy right now.
And can you say her name, her first name?
Elena.
Yeah, a beautiful name.
Yeah,
I love that. And does she make art in addition to doing this other work?
No, she's I mean, I suppose she probably could be very creative. She's not like a straight-laced person at all. She's very type B, right? Type A is like that finance, that mentality.
Yeah.
Right? She's very type B, so she probably could.
Right.
I don't think she's ever attempted it, but she's not like a suit and tie, business suit person.
Right. And were you ever a suit and tie, business suit kind of person?
Oh, Jesus, I tried.
But
I tried the office work.
You went to college for architecture.
Correct.
At Syracuse. You graduated with a degree in architecture.
I went to Dutchess first and then transferred.
Oh, nice. And how were these places, Dutchess and Syracuse?
They were great. It's very strange going to Syracuse from Dutchess because I transferred in and I only had to do 1 year like on Dutchess campus or on Syracuse campus. It's just required. They have to live 1 year on campus. But then I was 21 and then Syracuse architecture program is 5 years. So I was 21 for basically 5 years of college, like a full-blown drinking adult for 5 years on campus. And Syracuse has attached to it the ESF program, which is Environmental School of Forestry, which is a SUNY school.
Oh, cool.
And I got there to Syracuse and I was immediately like, I don't like these rich cunts at all. Like, I am not this bougie piece of shit person.
In general?
Yeah, in general.
Around?
Like, everyone
Right.
was just like rich.
It was an expensive
And it's expensive
university.
school, but I got like transferred in, so I got a little bit of a scholarship, but I immediately took to the ESF side of things. I was like, oh, these are my poor slobs. Like, I like these
forestry
fucking,
people.
I like these people. So I moved off campus, but you can intermingle. Like, it's all mixed.
Right.
So I moved off campus with like 4 ESF kids, like my second year.
And did you consider doing any switching into ESF as studies?
No, because the architecture program was great, but
Right.
and the architecture students were great, but everything else about the campus, I was like, I fucking hate all these people so much, except for like the architecture kids and the ESF roommates.
All right, where is the place in the history of Todd Germann where that I hate these people has been the least percentage? Or maybe even just not even there at all?
Actually, it was probably Syracuse, because outside of the campus,
Right.
it's the most down-to-earth city, because everyone is just like miserable and like downtrodden drunks. It's awesome. Like, I stayed there every summer. I would get a job every summer just to stay there.
It's like if Charles Bukowski went to college.
Because like once the students left, you're like, oh, yeah, this place is fucking great.
Right.
Like the local, we never went to campus bars. We would go, we'd drive into the city to like McGregor's. That was our favorite bar, because it was all locals. Like, no students would go there.
Right.
We're like, yeah, this is it. This is where we belong. Like, this is our bar. There's no goddamn students
It
here.
sounds like long necks and a pool table.
It was just darts and pool.
Right.
And like cheap pints.
Right. It sounds dream. When's the last time you were in Syracuse?
We went back. It had to be at least 10 years ago. We would usually take like a yearly pilgrimage.
Uh-huh.
It was funny. We went back to our first house ever.
Who's we?
My roommate, my ESF roommates.
Okay.
Kids. We went back to our first house we lived in, and we knocked on the door, and we showed up with like kegs, and we're like, let's just see what happens. We'll have a party for these guys.
Oh my God.
And we knocked on the door, and this guy's like, who the fuck are these guys? And he goes, who lived in the? And he's like quizzing us on the house, and he's like, who lived in that bedroom right here?
Right.
And my one buddy Andrew was like, "Oh, that was me." And so the guy answered the door. That answered, he was like, "And what kept you up all night?" And Andrew goes, "Oh, the squirrels." He goes, "Get the fuck in here."
Really?
So that was the answer. And he's goddamn right it was. And we walked in. We had these kegs, all this beer, and then the guy Mike, the guy that currently living in the house, he just called up all his friends. He's like, you won't believe what just happened. And he just called everyone, and we had a huge fucking party.
Dudes who used to live here showed up with a couple of kegs and a bag of Doritos.
Yeah, like 3 pretzels.
Right. A fun-sized bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. What a great idea.
Yeah.
And
we just threw a fucking kegger for him. We're like, we just want to reminisce in this house for a little bit, if you don't mind.
And
We're
so
just
that
gonna
was
kick back.
you and one of your forestry friends?
It was no, we went. Well, it was me, him, another kid, and like I'm gonna say like 4 other of his friends from Westchester. So it was like a pretty decent amount of people.
All of whom had lived in that house.
No, only 3 did, and then we just brought back people that always used to visit us from
Right.
Syracuse. So they were all They were familiar with the campus. Let's say they would visit all the time, but they weren't students.
Right. I love that. And what are the forestry people doing now?
I don't know. I lost track.
It seems like
I mean, that's kind of the people we're talking about on Facebook that don't really follow me anymore. They became MAGA.
But
So
guess.
it's
I
very
guess
strange.
if you're in forestry, you're either raping the environment or fighting to protect it.
They're strange birds.
Right.
Yeah, that's like
And if you're in, they'll cut them all down and log it all.
well, they became big construction guys.
Oh. I didn't.
And I don't know what happened. Andrew's in Florida, I think. I don't know what
wouldn't
he
have
does.
guessed that.
Yeah.
Construction guys. So the
One
forestry.
is very successful. He's got a big construction business in Stamford, Connecticut.
Right. Huh. And
He's relatively sane, I think, but he's still a big. He loves him. He just loves Trump so much that I can't. It's one of the things I can't wrap my head around, like how these guys got so twist it around.
Well, what's your theory?
Racism,
Oh God, that is so disheartening.
right?
That is so damn disheartening. I so don't want to believe that, And then people were like, last election, they're like, people won't elect a woman. I'm like, yes, they will. They're like, no, they won't.
They won't.
And I'm like, what is it inside of me that like doesn't even want to admit that
I don't
there's
know.
like misogyny and
It's, it's not going to happen. I
Right.
just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I think Jasmine Crockett is the best case for the next president, but it will never happen. I don't think in my lifetime. But I don't even know if she's old enough to run for president yet, but
right,
I think you got to be 35. I don't even know if she's 35, but
right,
Jesus Christ, like you listen to her talk, you're like, Jesus, she's like as eloquent as like Obama. She's fucking quick. She's got wit. And it's just like she tears these fools apart on the floor. And you're like, why is she not more popular?
right,
Like, just run. But you're like, she can't run. She's going to lose. It's a waste of
right. Well, why is
waste
she
of energy.
not more popular? And the media has a vested interest in like presenting who they present.
Right. Yeah. I know. It's so stupid. Like, we're going to get some clown next run around. It's going to be like, I don't know,
I hope we get
Adam
somebody.
Kemeter or something or whatever that guy's name is. He's fine, but he's not like, I don't know.
Are you a registered Democrat?
Yeah.
No, I am. And I was thinking, I just want to be a registered independent again, which I was for decades. And then I switched because I wanted to vote in the primaries.
Right.
But, I'm so mad at the Dems.
They're feckless. It's so sad.
Right.
It's just like, guys, do something. Fucking do something.
Yeah.
Throw a pie at someone's face. Do something for it. Just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone do something.
Yeah.
He just seems so weak and pitiful.
Right.
It's just aggravating.
Yeah. And for a second back there in the election when Tim Walz was first on the map and he's saying, you people are just fucking nuts. I was like, oh, here's something. Here we're going to have somebody like calling it how it really is.
Right.
Like, this would be great.
Yeah.
But no. And it's
That's
bad.
too extreme.
So do you think that this kind of situation sort of feeds your artistic slump?
No, it mostly just gets me angry and want to drink.
Do you think the drinking feeds your slump?
Probably.
Yeah.
But it used to not. It used to be like the great gasoline.
Really? It used to speed things up?
Yeah. Because I would get so hammered that I would forget. Like, it was like a paint drunk, edit sober kind of situation.
Right.
Like, I would wake up in the morning and be like, whoa, look how productive last night was. And like in the morning, I'd be like, oh, I got some stuff to edit here. This is going to be a great painting.
Right.
Like blackout. But like, I don't really drink whiskey anymore because like I would get fucking crazy. But I mean, it might be time to revisit it because like.
What does that look like, Todd Germann crazy? Whiskey
Not too
bender.
dissimilar than right now. But I take, so I don't know if you know this, but I had like seizures. I had a seizure back in like 2014. So I take these seizure meds now and it like kind of tamps down the brain. So you can't really get crazy anymore. It's weird. I can't get like blackout drunk to the point of like not really remembering anything anymore.
Wow.
It's weird. The drugs are nuts.
Oh.
I'm not supposed to drink on them, but whatever. Fuck that. I don't care.
And if your doctor's listening, it's a different Todd Germann.
Don't worry. It's not me, Dr. Kozer.
Different Todd Germann. So do you miss getting blackout drunk?
Well, I miss that like weird creativity that like you're just totally free and like in the morning, like literally would wake up and be like, oh, last night was awesome.
Right.
Because there would just be like 3 paintings done.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like the booze, all the drunkenness sort of gets your self-consciousness and your ego and all these things out of your way.
Yeah,
and just
right,
lets
exactly. You don't
create.
think. You don't think at all. So and now like every move is just like staring. It's like 3 minutes of staring for every 10 seconds of work.
Oh God.
Right? It's like trying to write like that. Ugh. You can't do that. You can't do anything.
Right.
How do you get anything done?
Well, so I once, I've been a painter for much of my life. I once tried a painting where I didn't think at all because my shit is so fucking deliberate. I was like, I'm just going to do like an abstract thing and just going to go and do it. And I did, and it was okay. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
But can you do that? Can you just go do shit and then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's easier when did you see the show I did with Jeff? Right. So that's a little easier when we do like a collaboration like that.
Right.
Because then I just like I know I can pass it off. And then like I don't know what's coming back. That's like kind of being drunk, right? You just give it, you don't know what's coming back.
Yeah.
And like that was fun.
Right. So would you do more of those?
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. So now I'm gonna apologize. One of the first times we ever met, somebody's like, "Oh, that's Todd. He's a wild card," and I was like, "Oh, look at him. He looks like a wild card." And you said, "Hey, nice to meet you. We should collaborate in some paintings." You remember this? Oh, good. Well, anyway, I gave some snarky ass comment, and I just now have you here. I wanted to apologize for that.
Oh,
because I thought you were being a dick.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe.
And then I saw that you were collaborating with lots of people on paintings. I'm like, oh, he was being serious. So I'm happy you don't remember that.
No, yeah, don't worry. I don't have feelings anymore. I don't. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't tell that to your girlfriend.
Well,
pretty sure your girlfand's like a guy with feelings.
No, she likes me. She's like, I don't understand why you're staring at me like that. You just have cold, dead eyes, icy blue, dead eyes. She's like, I don't know why I like it, but you don't have feelings behind those eyes. I'm like, yeah, they're there. Just fucking don't worry about it. She likes it.
Sounds like a good relationship.
It's lovely.
That's so wonderful. Well, I'm sorry about this slump. I find myself wanting to figure out some way that to help you get beyond it.
I think when I get everything moved from like my parents' basement where I had been working to this nice new little haven
with natural light.
With natural light, exactly.
Right.
It'll be better. Right. I think it'll, I mean, it has to. Something. Change of environment is always good, so it'll snap out.
Right.
It'll be good.
That's good. And do you have plans to collaborate with people?
No.
You collaborated with Leslie.
We did that. Yeah, we did that show. That was an awesome show.
With Jeff. It was an amazing show.
That was great. With like interpreting her pictures.
Right.
That was so good. That was actually probably the best work I've done in, I'm going to say, like 4 years.
And are there people on your list, like photographers or painters, who you think like, oh, I want to collaborate with them?
No, I haven't really thought hard about anything in a long time. So that's the next phase of like getting into like a program together, let's say, of like what to do, like how to jumpstart this whole
like a 30-day program in Minnesota, 90-day program.
Yeah.
But you're getting
never
into a habit of sitting and being creative.
Exactly. Like I hate to say the J word, but use it more like a job.
Right.
Like get up and do it for a certain amount of time and really.
It's
focus.
Like, I forget who it is, the writer who said, inspiration is for amateurs.
Yeah.
Professionals sit down and they just fucking do it.
Right. Yeah. I know. It's easier said than done, but yeah, I agree.
It's easier to sit down and do it when you have been inspired somewhere.
Right.
Rather than being not inspired and sitting down and doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy just to think about, like, doing a painting out of fucking nowhere. Like, a blank canvas is insane to think about. Like, he's got to sit there and come up with something, like, all the time.
Well, you're one of those guys. I mean, since I've known you as an artist, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of paintings you've made.
Yeah. But it's so stressful to come up with something all the time. That's why it was so fun working with Leslie, because, like, you already have something, right? Like, and you can interpret that and, like, work from that. You at least have something.
And so her photos came first.
Yeah.
And then you were inspired for them to do something.
Yeah.
Well, what about with Jeff?
We just went for it. Like, you could just splatter something around and then hand it, and then Jeff worked next.
And you were both in the same room?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, we weren't actually. We took 2 canvases each. I did something, and then we met somewhere, probably Krog, and then he gave me what he worked on, and I gave him what I worked on, and then we went from that.
Uh-huh.
But it was funny, like, I gave Jeff something, and he gave me back, a fucking blue whale in the background. I was like, whoa, okay.
Right. Didn't see that
Did
coming.
not see that coming. But it's like, I would have never thought to put a blue goddamn whale in the
Then
background.
did you paint on top of that?
No, I left that go. But like in the foreground, I made it, whatever, my addition to it.
So did each painter only get the canvas once?
We did two pass backs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd pass it,
Yeah.
get it back,
Yeah.
and then work on it,
one
send
more
it
time,
back.
one more time each. Yeah.
And then that'd be it.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Because it started with when I was living in Brooklyn, my friend Antonio and I would do it on bar napkins, just like with a pen and just like see, because he was a friend of mine from architecture school. So we would just, he really good at sketching. So we would just come up with these crazy like compositions of nothing. And we ended up designing a bar in the city together. And we did all this, all these nice drawings. And the owners were just like, we don't really get this. And then we were getting pissed off. And we literally went into the corner, took a bar napkin, sketched on it, and we like fucking threw it at them. Like, is this better? And like, they were like, this is what we wanted. And we're like, God damn you fuckers. And it was just like a little concept of like how this curve went around with a angled roof and a curved bar. And that was it. And it took like 30 seconds of doing a bar napkin. And like, that was the design. After doing all this shit on like AutoCAD and like all these sketches we did for him,
Right.
his renderings, and all it took was a fucking sketch on a bar napkin to convince him.
Well, you say that, but also that sketch is built on the shoulders of all the other designs that came before it.
Right, but like that's what they didn't understand the sketches,
Right.
It was like
Gotcha.
They didn't understand the actual architecture. They understood the bar napkins.
So then did that design become a reality?
Yeah. It's like the most popular bar on the Upper East Side, the Penrose.
Oh.
He's 82nd and 2nd.
What's it called?
The Penrose.
The Penrose.
Yep.
I like the name. Sounds hoity-toity.
They have a whole shitload of bars.
Uh-huh.
We did.
And who goes there? Sounds like fancy Syracuse grads.
Yeah, it is. 82nd Street, Upper East Side. That's all. People that just graduated from Syracuse and have their parents' loot, and they just bought them an apartment
On the Upper East Side.
on the Upper East Side. Yeah,
So you graduated Rhinebeck.
graduated
right?
Rhinebeck. Yep.
Did you start your school career here in kindergarten or?
Yeah,
undergraduate?
I'm a lifer.
Wow. And your folks, how did they come to Rhinebeck?
They came from Long Island. My dad had a bar in Long Island. They originally came up here and they worked at Holy Cross. Remember that crazy place?
Yeah.
They both worked there, and then they both worked there for, I don't know, 15 years. My mom longer. Then they both switched to Anderson School. Both, dad was 17 years there. Mom was, I don't know, 20 years there. So they're like, they just loved working at the same place.
Right.
Yeah. And, but when they first came up, dad had that, I don't know what the hell it is now, that, when like the Route 9 first changes into the 4 lanes.
Yeah.
There's that little building there.
Uh-huh.
That used to be a bar.
Okay.
And my dad owned
It's
that.
like a
It was
surveyor's
bar.
place or something?
Yeah. That's what it is now. It used to be a bar.
Uh-huh.
What was it called? Kilroy's? Or no, that was
Kilroy's.
his bar in Long Island. What was it called? Shit, I can't remember. Brain is fried.
Do you remember a bar out on 308 called Murphy's?
No.
Out towards the fork in the road?
No.
No.
A little before my time, I think, Norm.
I doubt it.
I was drinking in basements at 13, not at bars.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, and
The ID wasn't that strong yet.
are your parents drinkers?
Dad used to be very. He doesn't touch the dark stuff anymore.
Didn't touch the dark stuff. Was
The
it just
whiskey,
white
the
wine and lager?
Yeah, a little cocktail.
Yeah.
He'll drink wine, on occasion, but he doesn't drink like sitting around. He won't just sit there and drink.
Uh-huh.
Mom loves wine. She loves her white wine.
Right.
But Dad'll only drink if there's like an occasion.
Right.
He's not like abstinent from drinking by any means, but
Right.
he just doesn't. He's got the ability to turn it off. Like he never went to like sober up or anything. He's just like, nope, gotta slow down.
And what is sober up?
Like clean,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, AA or anything like that.
Oh,
He
yeah.
never did that.
Say
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a club, sober up club.
Sober up club.
Junior high.
Yeah.
And you have a
We
sibling?
pray. Yeah, I have a younger sister.
Where's she?
She teaches at an all-boys school in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, she's got her act together.
So a lot of teachers in your family.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about doing that?
No, fuck no.
How come?
I don't
Seems
know.
like a fairly definitive
I
answer.
mean, I would do it for like special needs kids and like teach them painting and stuff like that. But
Right.
I would never classroom situation with all those little fuckers. Never.
and
Absolutely not.
And have you ever tried that? That's fairly specific, teaching painting to special needs kids.
No, but I think I would do good with it.
Right. I'll bet you'd be amazing.
I think I'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have patience for like that kind of stuff.
But not other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You
Like I know if you need help, but if you're just being a dick, like if you're just a bratty piece of shit kid, I will have no patience whatsoever. I was like, drag your fucking ass out into the hallway and like lock the door behind me. Call your parents, be like, you got a shitty kid.
Right. I love that. So somehow you graduated from Syracuse there
Yeah.
with kids like that.
Yep.
And
I mean, the architecture school kids were different though, because that was just like it was really unstructured, because you were pretty much. It was known from day one that you're supposed to just work 24 hours a day in the studio
Right.
and no sleep. Like you were there. Like people slept there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard.
And did you enjoy the studies?
I took it a little differently. Obviously, I wasn't doing it as seriously as most students were.
How come?
I don't know, because I was getting away with it, doing it my way, which was just like
Oof.
I was
Like that's just poison for a youngster.
but I was also a little older, which was weird. Like I was 2 years older, which made a huge difference.
Yeah.
At 21, between 21 and 19, that's a big difference.
But breezing through, getting decent grades without a lot of effort is a terrible thing.
It was bad looking back because
Right.
yeah, I more or less squandered that education.
Right.
But it's not really that, because the design elements are still there. I still know how to do that. But like all of that, like I'm a antique now. All that shit about like AutoCAD, that's gone.
Right.
Who the fuck knows even what they're designing with now? I have no idea.
Right.
Like I'm despite having a degree from like one of the best architect schools in the country, I'm a relic. Like I'm less hireable than a fucking kid in 7th grade that knows how to work programs.
Right.
You know?
That's
Like it doesn't
amazing.
matter.
But somebody's going to need somebody at some point who can operate AutoCAD.
No,
You're like, oh, this thing's
I don't
all
even know
wrong.
if it's a program anymore.
It's like I saw a thing the other day. It was somebody had posted a help wanted ad in some like National Archive or something, was looking for somebody who could read cursive, who could read script, because people aren't learning to do that.
Right. That's wild.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, like with all this AI shit, like you're not even going to need to know how to design much anymore. It's just going to be like, design me a house with 30 windows with a curved wall and this and that. And it's just going to, people don't care. It's just going to pop something out for you, and they're going to plop it on the ground, and you're like, oh, I like this. This is fine.
Right.
It's going to be an antiquated design. It's going to be done.
Right. But if the client thinks that's fine, like that's it, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Who were some of the architects you loved when you were young?
Frank Gehry, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was just like, it's like, when you see a painting and you're like, whether you like it or not, the balls it takes to do something, to be the first one to do it, right? Like, who would have thought to like look at like the Bilbao
like the
Museum,
Bilbao stuff, yeah.
and be like, to propose that and be like, yeah, let's put this out there.
Right.
And the first one to do that, like, that's crazy.
Right.
Or like a Dali painting, and you're like,
It's funny. I never thought of that. It is very much like a dolly painting.
yeah.
The swirly.
Yeah. I like to be like one of the first ones to do that. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
When everyone's doing like fucking, realistic trees and shit, and you're like,
What other architects do you look at and think, holy fuck, they were the first ones to do that?
well, I mean, probably Frank Lloyd Wright,
Right.
but I mean, not to that extent, because there was already like kind of open frame stuff and like that living in nature and like
Right.
extended planes. He pushed it, but I mean, Zaha Hadid, like she's great.
Right, she's amazing.
Yeah. Same thing, and like to do that, you know, like I said, like as a woman, like that she didn't have, for her to get to where she was, just doing what she did. Like, I'm sure she went through a lot of. It's not even in my year at architect school. Like, the girls had it hard because it's just like, it's a construction world still. I mean, it's architecture and design, but it's like a boys' club.
Right.
And like the girls were so much better.
Were they?
Yeah, they were better. There's like a delicate hand to it. Like, and like, I don't know. I thought a lot of the girls were so much more talented.
In what kinds of architecture?
Well, you start very small, just like a studio, and then by the end, you got to design. You know, your thesis was whatever you want. So for over 5 years, they get progressively more and more.
And so what was your thesis on?
It was a rehab center on the top floor and a bar on the bottom floor.
A rehab center?
For alcohol. So you had to be able to walk through a bar.
Was the building like a circle, like a Ferris wheel?
It was like a curvy thing. So you had to be able to walk through a series of bars to get to the rehab center so that you weren't actually cured until you could walk out and through a series of bars.
Was there a slide going from the top back to the bottom?
Yeah.
The fast way down?
No. Yeah, that would have been good. Like, well, not there yet. Take the fast slide down.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sorry, it's a glib visual, but you described that it's a little bit like a cartoon.
Yeah, no, I took it half seriously.
Right, and
I wasn't really serious about it.
Good grade on it.
I mean, I passed.
Right, and then you got a job somewhere working at an architectural firm.
Yeah, I think the first job was in Millbrook somewhere. That period of time was a little blurry.
Right.
Millbrook, I think I was there for like a year. They actually did a lot of the design, the addition to Anderson.
Oh, nice.
But you know, it's not really architecture. Well, it's just like buildings.
It's not really architecture. It's buildings.
It's just like they're like plug and play.
They're what?
Like plug and play buildings. There wasn't anything designy about them.
Right.
They're like nice. They're suitable.
And did you have plug and play kinds of stuff, like an erector set or Legos or stuff when you were a kid?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. No.
When do you remember first thinking, oh, architecture, that'd be fun?
Probably in high school. I know I was good at art, and I think my counselor was just like, "Have you ever thought about it?" Yeah, and then I went to Dutchess, and then I was like, I got hooked there because.
And this is your counselor at Rhinebeck High School?
Yeah. Mr. Levinson.
What's that?
Mr. Levinson.
Mr. Levinson.
Do you have Mr. Levinson? My children. Oh, I love Mr. Levinson.
Oh, nice. Shout out to Mr. Levinson.
Yeah, right on.
And so you've been in Rhinebeck forever.
Yep.
What do you miss? You know, thinking back to when you were in like junior high or elementary school or high school, whatever. What are the things that you pop in your head once in a while? Like, oh, I miss that thing.
Track and field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was in shape. I was good. I was fast.
Yeah. What were your events?
The 400 and the 400 hurdles.
Wow.
I don't know if it still stands, but our 4x4 team had the school record for a long time.
Right.
It might still be there. I hope it's still there.
I love that. Well, you can probably go and look in the display case.
I don't want to go back in there, though.
But overall, was it a good experience?
Yeah, I thought high school was great.
Right.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's good. And it got you into DCC.
Yeah.
Which is a great place.
Oh, it's great.
And
that architect school there was great.
Oh, that's nice.
Our professors were like way overqualified. They should have been teaching at Princeton. And they were just like, they reminded me of like Goodwill Hunting, you know?
Right.
Like they were at some little school and they should have been somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, I think I get the impression, maybe somebody told me that lots of the professors there make this lifestyle choice. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, we want to live in the Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
And they could be teaching,
yeah, exactly.
Princeton or wherever.
Yeah. That's what it felt like.
That's just great.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you decide to leave architecture behind you?
My last day in Southampton, I fell and I cracked my head on a sidewalk.
So you're working for a firm in Southampton?
Yeah. I was
Is
there
it
for
like
3 years.
A residential firm?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I was, I pretty much put in my resignation because it was just like, it was like $30 million houses, 30,000 square foot for a family of four.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this is outrageous shit. Like I can't take this really. And it just like, I was in this apartment and the rent, they have like summer rent and winter rent, and it would go up from like $1,200 a month to $2,700 a month for the summer.
Right.
And I was like, I can't afford it. This is just like too much shit. There's too much excess out here. Like it's fucking crazy.
Right.
You people are goddamn nuts. But like the partners in the firm was great. It was only 3 partners, and I was the only employee they ever had. So like they were great. I have no qualms against them at all. But like the job was just like, these fucking clients are out of their goddamn mind. Why do you need this much shit?
I'm with you.
And I couldn't like wrap my head around it. I'm like, why am I just
was that
drawing this tile all day?
a time of political awakening for you? Have you always been very political?
No, I've always been like anti-stuff though.
Right.
I hate stuff. I hate shit. I don't understand why people need all this money. Like that stuff bothers me so much.
Right.
So I like put in my resignation there, and then
You said you tripped on the sidewalk.
I hit my head.
Oof.
And I was out. My friend had come to visit me, and I was out. And he thought I was joking. And he like started dragging me like, oh, come on, get up. And he was like, oh shit, he's not joking. And I had to get helicoptered. Well, first I went to the Southampton hospital, and they were like, oh, this is a serious brain bleed. So I had to get helicoptered to SUNY Stony Brook. And I was there for like a week for like them like monitoring this brain bleed. And then like they said everything was okay. But like 4 years later, I had a seizure because it was like a slow bleed that no one caught.
Oof.
But that's why I left. That's ultimately why I left Southampton. But yeah, during that time, I did try to go back to work in Millbrook again. And that's what I was telling you earlier. When I walked in, I think I only lasted one, and maybe it was the second day. And it was like a lunch break, and I walked in, and I saw this woman who had an I'm Crabby coffee mug with a crab on it. And then I sat down at my desk, and I grabbed my shit, and I walked out.
Okay.
I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do this office shit again.
Was it the kitsch factor?
Yeah.
And
just like that smell of like computer exhaust and coffee breath and just like
computer exhaust. I never heard that phrase.
Fucking mug. And I just stared at it and I was like, nope, can't do it.
That's a great scene. It's a great scene in a movie. I'm thinking of that movie with Michael Douglas standing down.
Oh, yeah, falling down.
Yeah. Where he's just like, I've fucking had it. I've had enough of all this shit. The consumerism,
right?
Everything.
It felt very similar.
Yeah.
I just like folded up my little papers and walked out the door. I never even told them. I just left. I never came back.
If they're listening now, don't blame me. Was there ever? They must have like reached out to you at some point and said, "Hey, dude, are you ever coming back? What the hell happened?"
I don't know. I probably threw that phone away. I don't know. I never talked to him again.
Right. Wow.
We did not like each other from Jump Street. I knew it wasn't going to be a bad fate. Right away.
But I love that scene. Do you ever make short films?
No, but I wrote a book about Syracuse, so.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I sent it to someone who's a screenwriter.
A book about your time there?
Yeah.
Like sort of a memoir?
Yeah.
Wow. I'd love to read that.
It's horrific.
It's terrific? It was
horrific.
And so you said you sent it to a screenwriter?
Yeah, a friend of mine, yeah.
And what'd this friend say?
I don't know. It's a little amateurish. I wrote it.
Well, you're not a writer. I mean,
pretty good for a non-writer, but it's still amateurish, you know.
Right.
It would be a better movie than a book. Put it that way.
Right. And have you ever wanted to make a movie
Yeah. About Syracuse.
about that time?
Yeah. It was crazy, man. I'm telling you.
Wow.
It was fucking wild.
Could you work the I'm crabby scene into the into
Well,
the
yeah,
movie
because you
about
could do,
Syracuse?
yeah, you could do a little after, post-mortem of Syracuse.
Right. And how many years were you there in total?
5.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, guess what? We're out of time.
Oh,
I know. Can you fucking believe it? You just popped a new beer. This beer, Twisted Thoughts, is really super delicious. It came from right here at the Epicurean.
no.
Oh, it didn't.
I got it from
Let's
Croak.
pretend it
Yeah,
did.
I mean,
The
yes.
fabulous Epicurean,
Yeah,
which has
exactly.
all manner of wonderful beers.
It does.
And thanks to Patricia Wend and Cliff for letting us have this space.
Agreed.
The nook at the Epicurean. And thanks to our producer, Jen Hammoud, who's just sending me a note. We have another 16 seconds.
Oh.
Do you have anything to
Yeah,
say?
I'll tell you this really cool story.
All right, good. 10
so-
seconds.
Never
9
mind.
seconds.
No.
Go on.
So, Andrew, the guy I was telling you about, we had this deal in Syracuse where if you passed out with your socks on, it was a no holds barred situation.
Fair game.
Oh, as long as the music coming on. I'm not going to get it in.
All right.
But okay.
We're signing off, but you can tell me later.
I will tell you as
Everybody,
soon as we're
thanks for
done.
tuning in. Have a great Friday night and a fabulous weekend. And special thanks to Todd Germann for coming in and being really a wonderful and engaging guest. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.